There he is. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
I'm doing okay, Big O. Had a nice visit to Marco Island. Like it there very much. Beautiful white powdery beaches, nice wide beaches. I'm a little surprised that 2 weeks after my wisdom tooth surgery, I still got pain in there. So that one takes a while. Yeah,
Wow. You
yeah.
you didn't take out all four, right? Supposedly.
No, just one.
Wow.
They did a special kind of surgery where they don't remove the entire tooth, and
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
it's
Well,
got
that's
to
a
it's
whole
got to like heal over with the bone and all
right.
sorts
Yeah,
of.
trauma, bro. You got trauma there. So yeah, it takes a little while to kind of get through it, and it's a sensitive area. So
But
yeah,
I did it at the right time because this is, there's not too much going on from the Dolphins' perspective, and I get to spend time with the family. I got my whole family coming to visit tomorrow. That'll be nice. They're coming in from New York.
uh,
They,
I uh, I like when I did it. I did it at 18. I took all four out, and I never had another problem again, bro. That's it. That's the best way.
yeah,
Get it out early, and never have to deal with it again.
any and all surgeries are more difficult when you're older, and I'm 48 now, so no doubt if I was 18, I'd be in less pain than I am right now.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff, man. All right. So what happens first in your eyes? Lillard goes to the Heat or Cook goes to the Dolphins? Because it's the inevitable. Both are going to happen, whether anybody likes it or not. I don't give a shit. It's going to happen. So which one happens first, Joe?
I would say Lillard, and here's why. Now, I'm not an NBA expert. I'm not an NBA reporter, insider, salary cap guru. It's very complex. Trying to understand some of these trades, they're just bizarre in the NBA.
Luckily,
Stapling.
you don't have to cover the MLS, brother.
It's even
You want
worse.
no.
Oh,
It's
with
not
the
worse.
international allocations.
It's not just worse. It's the most confusing freaking thing in the world, my brother.
Transfers are very weird.
Yeah.
Like you transfer to a different country, and then they just basically come up with a fair
fee.
payment, right?
Yeah, fee to transfer, and then you have to negotiate the salary after that. Yeah. Yeah.
I missed out on any opportunity to go to my first MLS game. Right, I'm locked out now. It's done.
Yeah, I would say so, my brother. Yes.
I was going to bring my daughter out there, but and I get confused because I thought that the Miami's MLS team was home on Saturday because in every other sport, like soccer always has to be different. The home team is on the right or bottom of the schedule.
The top. Yeah, the first.
And in soccer, for some reason, because they got to be different, what you would think is the home team in America is actually the visiting team. So they're away on Saturday. So that foiled my plan to get pre-Messi soccer tickets for my family.
Yeah. Well, you should listen to me. I told people for months he's coming. Buy season tickets now so you can have richness in the second half. But if you didn't,
were you allowed to buy season? You could.
Yes.
You could buy.
You couldn't buy. No, what they did was they closed out single game tickets for the second half of the season. They locked out the number 10 and number 5 jerseys. They had all that in place before any of this happened, and I knew that meant that they were going to get them because there's no reason you can buy second half tickets, single game tickets on any team in the MLS except Miami this year. And now that Messi comes, once he gets here, they'll open up the second half, and oh my God, what they're going to charge is, crazy. And there you go. You
watched every season of Ted Lasso? Because I watched the most.
Yes, I have.
What was the guy's name? Zava.
Yes, Zava. Yes,
Zava.
Zava was a trip.
Is Zava going to be like Messi for these guys in the locker room? Is this kind of like?
Well, Messi's not like Zava in the sense of the aloofness of all of that, but he is the god. Like Zava is supposedly the god. You know what I'm saying? But it gave Jamie, for spoiler alert, it gave Jamie the shot to be a star again. So that was actually the cool part of that whole Zava thing by him going away.
What an amazing time to be a sports fan. If you have season tickets for the home teams in recent years, right? The Dolphins have been excellent at home. The Heat are always good at home. The Panthers have been excellent at home. If you're a South Florida sports fan, this is a good time.
Well, listen, I was just talking about this with Furones, and I can expand a little bit more on it, on what I talked with him about. Let's give the Dolphins some credit. Because what Greer and McDaniel have done, they've created an atmosphere that people want to be a part of. And then the buzz from last year, the success, the sexiness of that offense obviously attracts a lot of people. And now, you see where you're going. The Heat have done this for 25, 27 years since Riley got here. They established it. They created a culture that people all over have been wanting to be a part of. But if you start looking at it, the Dolphins are creating that culture. The Panthers are a little bit ahead of the Dolphins, actually, because they've made the playoffs 4 straight years and the Stanley Cup this year. So those owners are creating that with Kachuk and everything else. And now you've got Messi, with the soccer team. Again, there's going to be people next year in the offseason, American players are going to say, you know what? I'll take a little less to go over to Miami, no tax state, play with Messi, have a chance to win, all that kind of stuff. So the page they're stealing from the Heat is you got to create your culture. And some of the teams in town. Hey, how about Bruce Sherman? He even told the Herald today that I'll help Kim Eng here in the deadline. That we haven't heard that in baseball in a while here. Give these teams some credit, including the team you cover in the Dolphins, that they are creating a culture that others want to be a part of.
It's kind of unfortunate in baseball that the Reds and the Orioles this year and the Astros in recent years were rewarded for gutting their franchises, rebuilding the minor league system, being just terrible on the major league level and not spending.
Right.
But as a native of Queens, New York, and the Mets have won 4 in a row, but it's not that much fun. The Mets have a couple of rookies that are exciting. The catcher Francisco Alvarez homered in the 9th again last night. But when you have a bunch of old guys and you're not winning, it's far less interesting than when you have at least young guys who provide hope.
Right. And, the Mets situation is really frustrating. Plus, you guys have had bad luck from the get-go with the injuries, bro, right? It started with the closer, it's just
that's why the Dolphins had all the trouble for years with injuries, because they had too many guys that were 30 plus.
That's right.
And Verlander and Scherzer, all pitchers get hurt, but old pitchers are really going to get hurt. And so the Marlins have a young staff. I'm going to go down to a Marlins game. I was, we'll see where things end. I still think the Mets have as good a chance to finish with I'm sorry.
Well, they got a $1 billion. They got a $1 billion payroll. They better get it done.
I know. Do you agree with me the Mets might actually finish with a better record than the Marlins? We've only played like 90 games.
They should. Yes, they should. Yeah, they should.
But I do hope the Marlins add, or retool, or at least, even if it's like,
whatever,
another bat.
A bat. They don't actually, they have one of the better rotations in the majors, period. Not just in the National League. They have one of the better rotations in the majors, actually.
Have you had Kim Eng on your show? That'd be good.
Yeah. We try, but we can ask, but if they don't want to cooperate like they haven't for years, I can't do anything about it, bro. I can reach out only so much, but I'm not here to kiss your ass.
Nothing but positive now, yeah.
Listen, I took the show to FanFest over there 3 years ago. It's not like QAM was there. It's not like 790 was there. I was the only one there from local media that was actually doing a show out there. So I've done my share. I've tried. I've reached out, but brother, if you don't want to do your part and you don't want to, promote your team, what can I do? I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that can be tough. Well, I haven't been out there this year. I hope that the environment is better. I know that there's, they're not among the league leaders in attendance, but there has been an improvement in attendance. It's like when you go to a bar, nobody wants to go to a bar that doesn't have a lot of people in there. It's like, it's just lifeless. You know what I'm saying?
But it's getting better. Like tonight's the kind of night you want to go because Yuri Perez is on the mound, the youngster. And he's about to
rookie or second.
Yeah, he's a rookie. He's about to get shut down. He's close. Has he hit how far is he from the 150? Because I think they're stopping him right around 150 or something. And like they do with all young guys.
Steven Strasburg. You see how well that worked out for Steven Strasburg.
But he was a little bit but that was coming off of an injury that he was rehabbing, and then they didn't want to stretch him out too much because of that. This is because he's a baby. This is like a 20-year-old kid. They never really play you a ton of innings the first year, Joe, that you're in the majors. It's usually 100 and some innings. They don't go into the 200 area with young arms. They like to build it up because in the minors you don't pitch that much. So that's
And the
why.
Mets have a Japanese pitcher who, in Japan, they only pitch once a week. So this
Right.
guy can only pitch every 6 days.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so they're asking Scherzer and Verlander to go ahead of him in the rotation. If I was those guys, I'd be like, really?
Yeah. That's
You guys a lot younger than me.
Yeah. What's that again? 47.1 or 147? Okay, 47. Well, then what is it? They're stopping him at 50 innings? No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, when does this Dalvin Cook thing end for the Dolphins?
Well, obviously, he's going to want to be somewhere for training camp. So, you would think
At the end
around
of the
the
month?
time training camp starts,
Right.
if it's the Dolphins. The thing about it is, it's not like Mike McDaniel is going to make Dalvin Cook. He's not going to grind on him and wear him down in camp. He's just going to give him an opportunity to learn the offense. That's the key. So,
Yeah.
was that?
So you think like me? You think it's good? That's why I actually think Cook happens before Lillard, because I think both happen before camp, and camp doesn't start for the Heat until September. So I think a week or two before camp, the Lillard thing gets settled because they don't want Lillard walking into Portland, and I think this one gets settled right before camp also because he wants to learn the offense. He wants to be a part of a team already at that point. So you've gone through the offseason. You've avoided all that crap. Good for you, Dalvin. That was smart. Now you go sign with Miami and start.
Do the Portland Trailblazers really have an obligation to, like, quote unquote, do right by Dame Lillard? I mean, I find that concept a little odd. Like,
it is.
The Chiefs were like credited for doing right by Tyreek Hill by sending him to the preferred destination. This is a little odd.
Well, remember,
for me, considering these same franchises tell players, we're cutting you tomorrow if you don't cut your salary in half.
Right.
So it's like,
well, you can't do that in basketball. In basketball, the money's guaranteed. And that's the difference. It's $260 million left guaranteed. And whoever acquires him is going to cross one or two aprons of tax. So it's going to go to $300 million. You are not going to acquire a disgruntled star. LeBron James got traded to where he wanted to get traded to. Anthony Davis got traded to where he wanted to get traded to. James Harden does the same thing a couple times over. These people end up going where they want because the players are in control in the NBA. The money is there. And no team is going to acquire a guy that they've got to pay $250, $275, $300 million, and the guy doesn't want to be there. And so it just—
I don't know about the don't want to be there. We get over that pretty quick.
You're right. You're right. They don't owe him. You're right. They don't.
Jonathan Huberdeau didn't want to go to Calgary. It's the last place he wanted to go. But he signed a long-term contract there for big money because, you know what? Calgary offered him a big-time contract. Now, he had a terrible year. They fired the coach in part because of his relationship with the guy or lack thereof. But, I don't want to live in Cleveland. I don't want to live in Cleveland or Detroit.
Okay, but
for the right amount of money, I would zip my mouth and talk about how much I love it.
Where did Kachuk want to go, bro?
Here, right?
Okay.
Well, listen, I like
Huberdeau is not Kachuk.
I know.
And so Kachuk is a superstar, and he says, this is where I want to go, and that's where he's going to go. Didn't Wayne Gretzky kind of force his way to the Kings?
Calgary's top 4 or 5 free agents. And this is, I know who said, well, not that many people care about hockey, but this is, you can draw this point about unattractive cities in general across the board for sports. Calgary is losing their top 5 free agents. They all said basically we don't want to live in Calgary. So it's part of the reason why I'm here, Big O. We want to be in South Florida.
You didn't want to be in Calgary either. I got you. I got you.
I asked my wife about Detroit and Chicago, Cleveland, Green Bay, Buffalo.
So
although I'll bet you it's nicer in Buffalo today than it is here.
Oh, well, the rain. Are you getting rain over there? Because we got rain here.
This is the worst month, July.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is bad. Try to go to the Revolution Live for a concert, and they don't have the AC on. That's what happened to me
Oh,
this past week. Bastards!
it was broken.
I sweated like a whore in church. I mean, it was bad, bro.
Did
It
you
was
see
bad.
that MGM Sphere that they came out with in Las Vegas?
I'll be there December 8th and 9th for U2. I already got my tickets. I'm on the floor.
What was that?
Yeah.
500 plus?
It was a couple bucks. It's a couple
Got to be
bucks.
500 plus.
Couple bucks. So I can tell you.
Do you have
Couple
connections
bucks.
in the Vegas concert market?
No. There's no connections there, bro. There's no connections there. It's the U2 fan club, and I went through the U2 fan club, and that's it, bro. You know, no. It's pretty simple. I was gonna go for my birthday on the 28th and the 29th, I think, or something, or the 29th or the 30th, I think it is. But the problem is the Dolphins play on the 1st on my birthday. So I then pushed it back to December because I'm going the 8th and the 9th. And then the 10th, I fly back on a Sunday. And I believe the 11th, they play the Tennessee Titans on a Monday. So I'm able to go see the concert Friday, Saturday, fly back Sunday, and then obviously work on Monday for the Titans Dolphins game, I think it is, or Buffalo. Is it Buffalo? No, Buffalo's in October. Titans. It's Titans.
I'm terrible at that. I know. I don't know what I'm doing like tomorrow, except picking up my family at the airport. I'm the worst. I can't keep anything straight.
Yeah, well, this is a once in a lifetime thing. I don't know. Although maybe when U2 takes out their next album, they might stop in Vegas for the Sphere again. But yeah, no, I've got to see this. And
I haven't seen any inside photos yet. I saw the outside photos on.
You should go to YouTube.
Thread.
No, go to YouTube and go. There's a put
Video?
U2 Sphere, and there's a whole interview with Bono and Edge, and they're inside of it. They don't show you a ton, but they kind of give you a little taste. So it's a pretty cool documentary. You can watch that.
Do you think this thread thing is gonna fail or what?
Well, the problem is, dude, Elon's trying to force us all to buy blue check marks because he's limiting what you can see, limiting what you can do because he's lost his ass. And so, and then all the bots and everything that are tied to Twitter. And so, I don't blame Zuckerberg. He sees an in right now, a possibility to challenge
the app
him.
wasn't even ready. I mean, it's clearly not ready.
Right.
It's like no features on it, and people are like, "This is great." And I'm like, "Not really." It's
not there yet. It needs live. It needs some other things that it's gotta get. But I'm sure. But dude, it just started last night, so it's kind of one of those things that you start and then you start to add, and it's kind of what I try to explain to people with crypto and the blockchain. Like Cardano had a run 3 years ago when it wasn't even ready. Now it's actually got all of its ducks in line. And the next bull market, it's going to make an incredible run because it's got DeFi now. It's got NFTs. It's got, gaming. It's got Web3. It's got all kinds of things that people don't understand. And so it's kind of one of those things. And so when you start these things like this app now, you will then start to build off of it depending on what you need and all those kind of things. So it's kind of an adjustment that goes along the way.
I spent a lot of time building up my Twitter audience. It's been an important part of my career. So
Me too.
I feel bad, but I did sign up because I want to make sure, hey, if everybody jumps to this thing, at least I'm on there, Yeah,
exactly. We have no choice. We have to jump on and start to adjust just in case. And by the way, the way Twitter's been shaky, we got to kind of protect ourselves right now. There's been moments that he's cut back so much. He's hurting, bro. Did you see the Google story?
About
he owes Google Cloud $1 billion because they a billion. The contract is $1 billion every 3 years for their cloud, and so now he's got to owe the $1 billion, and now he wants to renegotiate or threaten to leave and go to another place to use the cloud and all that kind of stuff. So he's got money issues. He sold $48 billion of Tesla stock in order to purchase this. So he is losing so much money, and I know he's the richest guy in the world or one of them.
I mean, I thought Elon Musk was a really cool guy with a cool car, and it was kind of fun. He was into space, and then since he took over Twitter, I'm kind of like,
it's like
he's not as likable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not as likable.
He's gone a little overboard at times, and it's Twitter's lost a lot since they sold. Let's be quite honest. And dude, he made a stupid offer that then they locked him into, and he was forced to buy it. So this is, it's a complete mess, dude. That's why you got to give Zuckerberg some credit. This is capitalism at its finest. He sees a weakness, he creates the niche, and now we'll see if it survives and thrives, or Twitter doesn't. So
The
this will be
connection to
nice.
Instagram gives it a chance, but they're going to have to add all those Twitter features
Yeah, they will. I'm sure they will.
and more. They have to do something better than Twitter.
No, and monetize it too, so we can monetize the people that put up content and stuff. I've been waiting to get my thing approved so I can have the what's that thing on Twitter, the stuff, so I can do some extra stuff on it, and then people pay. Yeah, the subscription stuff, and I still haven't gotten it. I'm waiting for that, and that's because they have very few people there, and in order to get to all the things that they have to do, it's completely slowed down, man. So it's bad news. All right, so let me ask you something. In your gut, who ends up as the right tackle?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Dolphins will give every opportunity to Austin Jackson to win the right tackle position, and I think he, is if he can stay healthy, he's trained hard, he's in good shape. I think he has a chance to be fine. But in Cedric Aboyhe, they have a potential solid veteran insurance backup. Same with Isaiah Wynn. I'm almost more concerned about, God forbid, Teron Armstead were to get hurt at left tackle. Who would you put there? Would you put Kendall Lamb there? Would you put Isaiah Wynn there? Would you
When's
you
your
move Austin
when's your
Jackson
swing guy? When's your swing guy and your guard? So he can play both tackles and he can play guard also. I think that's why they signed him over Shell, because he younger, less injury history, and less wear and tear, and more flexibility too. So they really like Win over there. They think that they can get the best out of him too. So we'll see. It's kind of like, you know, you, me, the rest of the Dolphin Nation, we're not convinced with Austin Jackson. We're not convinced with Liam Eichenberg. And maybe for us, they haven't, we're kind of like, are they even starters? But in their eyes, they're not even close to giving up on those guys. They like them.
I do think it's more likely that Jackson starts as opposed to Eichenberg.
I agree.
I think it's more likely.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Although I know Eichenberg will be given every chance to start at left guard, and they kind of felt he was turning the corner before he ended up getting injured. Is there another free agent move out there that they need to make outside of the Dalvin Cook move that they're waiting for?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a veteran backup defensive tackle, so you would think there's usually a few veteran defensive tackles, the John Jenkins types, who are either, available now or are shaken free before the start of the season. So I do think they'll add a veteran defensive tackle before the end of the offseason.
And there, by the way, there's still a pretty good list of free agents available. You notice that? Like there's still some guys out there, some veteran guys that you can have that in all kinds of positions.
But they got to prioritize, Wilkins, Sealer.
When's that? Are you hearing anything on that front? Is there any progress being made with those guys? Because I would imagine the Wilkins one is going to happen sometime in this month coming up.
Yeah, some of the other contracts that have been signed, you wouldn't think help things. The Dexter Lawrences and some of the other guys in Christian Wilkins' price range. I like Christian Wilkins better at 16 to 18 than 18 to 22.
Yeah, I think he's at 18 to 22. Right. I think he's going to be close to 20, to be quite honest, when it's all said and done.
It's a lot for a guy that doesn't get a lot of sacks, but he is a good player. I think Vic Fangio should have a lot to say about whether or not he wants him at that price point.
What if I tell you I think his sack numbers go up this year with Phillips breaking through and Chubb hopefully playing at a much higher level with Fangio there? If your ends become what they're supposed to be,
and Ogba back,
and Ogba back too at the same time. So
it was like one full game that Chubb and Phillips played.
Do you get? Because I think that Christian's numbers are actually going to go up. I think he'll get to 6 sacks, maybe 7 sacks.
Well, his sacks and tackles for loss have increased every year.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to believe that they won't, especially in a scheme that should be friendly. This guy's going to have a little more freedom of movement, and he's going to be allowed to attack more, as opposed to just hold. The old doesn't reflect on the stat sheet because he's holding up 2-3 guys. Yeah, okay.
Right. No, I'm with you there. All right. What do you got going on in the Palm Beach Post so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, we're on break, so we're going to come back shortly before training camp. But there's definitely going to be some good stuff heading into training camp, and we'll talk more about that as early as next week.
And at Schad Joe on Threads?
Yeah. Is it thread or threads? Threads.
Yeah, you got to have an
it's
S.
It's bad when you don't even know if it's thread or threads.
No. It's Threads. Because it's not going to be one thread. You're going to.
I haven't checked Threads a lot today. I got to be honest. I've been on Twitter more. Have you?
That's fine. I've been on both. Actually, I've been on both. Yeah,
that's what I need. Another app. Like I don't spend enough time on apps.
Amen, brother. I'm with you, but we have to protect ourselves because Twitter's been our lifeblood. For you, for me too. But what happens if this takes off and people go all over there? We got to be prepared. So that's always one thing that we have to adjust with, right? With the times as they change. And who knows if Threads are the ones that are going to take over Twitter. We'll see. We shall see.
I'll put more money on Austin Jackson than Threads, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Follow him on Twitter and on Threads at Schad Joe. Catch him here every week doing his thing with the EssentialMovingExperts.com Miami Dolphins Exchange. And more importantly, subscribe to the Palm Beach Post and support my man there and Hal and all the other writers out there, Tom D'Angelo, everybody out there at the Palm Beach Post. As always, my brother, thank you. We will catch up next week. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the family.
All right. See you, bud.
You got it. There you go. The great Joe Schad, Essential Moving Experts. Tell them that Big O sent you, folks. Whether it's long moving services, home moving services, long distance moving services, office relocation. Their headquarters are in Daytona, but they go all over the country. They've got trucks everywhere. So it doesn't matter if you're listening to me in Montana or in California, in Texas, or in New York, or here in Florida. They can move you from within that state, within your city, your business, or across the country if you got to go. Essential Moving Experts. Call my man Sean Williams. They will take care of you. 386-213-4054. That's 386-213-4054.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.